It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 100. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, October 27, 2024. A great day for a podcast about video games and much more, and that is what we are here to do today. So welcome to the show. Hope you're doing great out there in the world. Welcome to episode 100 of myself talking on this microphone into this podcast about video games weekly, and I really have been enjoying doing it. So just thank you for being here. Going to do the 100th episode. So the first order of business is to ask you to follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. So find the best place to subscribe and listen weekly. Places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, and more. If you'd like to support the show even further than just listening, patreon.com/DepLewisShow is available if you'd like to subscribe monthly. And then Venmo at Dep Lewis Show is available any day, anytime, for any amount if you would like to support the show. And then twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow too. I streamed some Balatro last night and another game I'm going to talk about. So I've been trying to put the stream on sometimes to advertise the podcast and show off some video games. So please check me out there on twitch.tv/DepLewisShow. Dep Lewis Show, anywhere you want to go, anywhere you want to know. Just type in Dep Lewis Show and you'll find some great content, hopefully on the internet. So for today's show, we have three sections. As always, the first section are, what video games have I been playing? What have I been playing and liking, and what's going on in my video game rotation? So I'll tell you about that. The second section of the show it's the primetime section. It's the news section. It's the mid section. It's where I'm telling you about everything going on around the video game world. Video game news, releases, happenings. I have collected all the information and brought it to you to present to you on this podcast every week. So that's what the mid section will be. And the final section of this show today is the Miscellaneous talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside of the video game world. And I usually get into the worldwide world of sports and tell you about what's going on with all my favorite teams. And today will be no exception, because there are some sports going on today. And I will tell you about, what's my journey going on with my favorite teams. The Panthers today are playing the Broncos, so that's what's going on today in the afternoon, about 4.5 hours, I guess, away from that. If you're listening to this podcast in real time, you might even be watching. The Panthers game while you're listening to this after it releases. So, talking to the people in the future right now. So what's up to you out there, future folk? All right. So let's get into it. Episode 100. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to any episode prior to this, and thank you for listening to many more episodes in the future. I think 100's a cool milestone. Just want to say that and put it out there, and may talk about it a few times throughout the podcast, because 100 is a cool looking number for an episode. So 100, Dep Lewis Show. So let's get into it. What have I been playing? What's going on in my video game life, my video game world? I actually picked up a video game this week. It's something I've been playing the demo of. I kept sensing I was getting close to the end of the demo. It was a very long demo. There was a lot involved in the demo, so that was pretty nice. So I recommend that to you. And that game is Metaphor ReFantazio. The great game brought to us by Atlas, the creators of Persona, some of the recent Persona games. So they have taken their talents to another fantasy world where the characters are a little bit older. It's more of a medieval kind of fantasy magical world setting. Some pretty great stuff going on. Some kings dying and trying to find your place in the world. And it's been pretty cool. It's been really, really fun. I picked it up for Xbox. I got a physical copy. It comes with 2 discs. The first disc is the one it seems like you play with and that it uses for the install. I think the second disc is if you don't have internet connection, it can actually install the full game onto your console. So that's pretty nice as buying a physical product that you could have a way to access your game even without the internet. But I put the first disc in. It prompted me for like a 45, 50 gig update. And I guess that was the content of the second disc, if you will. But have Metaphor on the Xbox. And if you don't know about Metaphor ReFantazio, the elevator pitch is the throne sits empty after the king's assassination. I guess there was 2 kings, actually, too. I think they killed the king and the heir. With no heirs, I don't know about that. With no heirs, the will of the late king decrees that the next monarch will be elected by the people, and thus begins your fight for the throne. So my character's trying to get in the mix with this. The killer is trying to get in the mix with this. The person who took out the king in Metaphor ReFantazio is really trying to vie for that power and has a lot of influence and control. And I think people know what's up with him. So he's the big bad in the game right now. But the characters in the game have been pretty fun so far. I like the main character a whole lot. The voice acting is really cool. I really do kind of like the personality of the main character. My character is an Elda, and that is apparently a group of people that people do not like. So everywhere I go, people are kind of shocked to see me, and they are not happy to see me as well in this game. So that's a pretty interesting take on the world going on. And all the characters are cool. Gallica, my sidekick, Stroll, Grius are some cool characters. The lady with the pointy ears is really, really awesome and coming in and doing some damage. And I think I get her in my party later, but I'm not sure. I've just kind of seen her early on. The music and the graphics are great in this game. The combat is fun. So, check out some Metaphor ReFantazio. I think if you like the Persona games, this could be a great avenue for a new video game for you to get into. And I like the setting in this one a whole lot. I really like the medieval kind of stuff. It's really fun. And I'm trying to think if I've noticed anything different. So yeah, there's a demo out for this game right now. You can play through the whole prologue. Your content moves over to your full save, and it worked pretty seamlessly. When I put the disc in, when you go to the main menu, it says, hey, go load up. If you played the prologue, you can just load up your save data and continue on from there. So that's what I did. And I think from playing the full version, it looks a little bit better. I think some of the stuff, that might just be myself tricking myself, but the game looks a little bit better. Looks like it's running nicer. So I think maybe some of the stuff with the upgraded patches is helping the game out. So instead of when you're playing a demo, you're playing the unfinished version of a video game. But Metaphor ReFantazio has been very fun. I think I had one or two good sittings with this when I got the disc, but I need to get back on some Metaphor ReFantazio. I'm adding that into my list of video games I'd like to complete, and I'll tell you more about that list in just a bit. So that's what I've been playing, Metaphor ReFantazio. Picked that video game up, and it is now in my collection and in my backlog and in my current video game rotation. All right, something that I alluded to a little bit earlier with Twitch was something I streamed a game last night, and I had a Jamboree with some friends, and it was a Super Mario Party Jamboree. So the new Super Mario Party is out. It released on October 17th, 2024 for $59.99 US for Nintendo Switch. And the Mario Party series is back and more jam-packed than ever, is what they're saying. With over 110 minigames, new online and offline modes, and plenty of customization choices, there's something for every kind of partygoer. So got on the Mario Party train last night at a Mario Party. We played a 10-round run. So if you want to know about the Mario Party, it seems like a pretty good one. But for the logistics of playing online, you can play with 4 players online. So four different people who own the game. You cannot play with multiple players on the console. So if you were trying to play, if I'm here at my place and then someone was here wanting to play 2 of us against other people online, some other friends I have, it's not possible. So you'd have to do like a handoff situation. But they have a 4-player mode, which is with the game boards and everything. And then they have a mode where you can just go in and play the mini games as you wish. And it looks like they have some online modes for up to 8 players, but it needs to be all 8 players, who own the game and have their own console. So there's no type of cooperative stuff with the online play, but you can definitely play a local Mario Party or I think you can play with up to 4 players on your own console, I believe. So pretty cool stuff there. I think the 4 players works well. I think the handing off is not too bad either with this game because it's so structured as like a board game. You can just easily hand your controller off after you play a mini game to your friend or whoever and keep it moving and have kind of like a team thing going. But this was extremely fun. I think it took a little bit to get going in the menus and see all the options and what we were doing. But once we got cooking with this game, I think it was a whole lot of fun. So I think next time we boot this up, we'll know exactly what to do and exactly what to expect. And there's a lot to have fun with here. So the first Mario Party board we played was the racetrack, and that was pretty fun. You're riding around the course of the game board and race cars and having some different effects and things with that. So I had a great time. I did not win. And then we got into playing just some mini games. So you can just go to the mini games. It's all sorts of different filters and criteria, and you can choose which ones you want to do. You can do the free-for-alls. You can do the 1 versus 3s. You can do the 2 versus 2s. You can do the motion game. So there was a lot of good stuff going on in there, and that allows you to run them back and replay it if you want to right away. So there was some pretty good, try the mini game out for 3 times, or see who wins, have a rubber match if you need to, and then keep it moving if someone keeps winning or that kind of thing. So it was really, really fun. So we probably played for 3 or 4 hours. I streamed it all on twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show. So I think that was a great time to show off some gameplay. And that's kind of my theory on using Twitch recently. I don't know if I necessarily want to get on there and stream like normal streamers you would see. I just want to get on there and show some video games off that I'm playing. And and just advertise this podcast here, because this is where you're going to get all my best video game thoughts. And I'm kind of a sporadic video gamer, so I don't know if that lends itself well for streaming, but streaming an event last night playing a Mario Party, that was pretty perfect because that was some continuous hours of video gaming with just a little bit of breaks in between. So check me out on twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show. I was also playing some other games on there before, so I'm going to talk about some games. I'll talk about some other games I've been playing in the midsection, but I kind of wanted to highlight these two new games. Metaphor ReFantazio came out a couple weeks ago, and finally picked that up. And then Super Mario Party Jamboree, the same, came out a couple weeks ago and finally picked it up and had a great time with it. So both of those games are available right now. They both get the Dep Lewis Show stamp of approval, and they both might end up on a Game of the Year list for the Dep Lewis Show. You never know. We're only a couple months away from that, so pretty exciting stuff there. And we got to talk about the Game of the Year stuff too. We got to kind of get prepared for that. And I'm going to tell you when it's going to be and that kind of thing. And that's always extremely fun. But all right, so those have been the two games I've been playing. It's the year of the RPG on the Dep Lewis Show, a year of extreme focus on the RPG genre to see what I like about it, what I don't, and it's been a great year for that. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been my main game for that. I'm trying right now in the RPG genre. I've added Metaphor ReFantazio to that, so FF7 Rebirth, Metaphor, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is another game that I'd like to complete, and Astrobot. So those are my 4 games right now that I have on the top of my backlog in my current rotation that I would like to complete. So I just want to keep you aware of those. And what I was thinking, Game of the Year. I heard One Outlet Fire Escape, a great podcast if you want to go listen to them. Dan, Mike, and Mary, they're going to do their Game of the Year a little bit early. So I think that is something that's interesting. A lot of different outlets like to choose different times to do their Game of the Year. So their theory this year was to get a little bit ahead of it instead of having some of the lull of the holiday season, which is definitely kind of a drop in podcasting. I think I've generally tried to do my Game of the Year the last 2 years close to the end of the year as possible, but I think there's a pretty good argument to be made for if there are no other games I am going to play during the year, I could already kind of have my list, but I could also use the time to play the game some more and decide, so I need to kind of look at a calendar myself and try to plan that out so I can give you some heads up on when the Game of the Year show is going to be, because that's one of the most fun episodes of the year. That's something I really look forward to, and I need to start getting my ducks in a row, getting my categories ready, getting my thoughts together, getting my list together, and what I'm going to talk about, and what I'm going to give a Dep Lewis Show award to, because that's the most prestigious award across the universe out there, a Dep Lewis Show award, so it's going to be a really great one. So that's what I've been playing. Those are my video game thoughts. I'm going to keep playing some video games here to get my thoughts together for the end of the year. I'm really going to be focusing on some of these 2024 games mainly, trying to get some completion or trying to get some more progress. My main games right now I'm trying to play are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and Astrobot. And I definitely have some other games from this year that I need to play more of. And there's a game in the middle section I'm going to tell you about. Well, there's 2 games I've been playing, so I got some games. I got games on games on games for episode 100. So, that is a very good thing. So that's going to wrap up this first section of the show where I tell you about what I'm playing. So that's everything I've been into, and I'll be back next week to tell you about all the other stuff I've been playing and keep you updated. So I don't want you to not be updated on what I'm playing, because that is, extremely important information. All right. But for some really good, important information, the midsection is coming up. And that's all the best video game news, releases, happenings that you need to know from the past week. I just look for cool stuff all throughout the week, write them down, flesh them out with details, and then I come here to tell you about them. So I can't wait to do that in the midsection after this music. Welcome back to the midsection, the middle section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 100. This is where I tell you about what's going on around the video game world, everything you need to know. So, just strap in and listen up. Here's all the good video game information. So there's been a release this week. It's a game called Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And this is something I have played. So this game released October 25th, 2024 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. This is also available for Game Pass for the first time on day one, so that is how I am playing it. The standard version of this game is $69.99 US, and I believe a month of Game Pass is $20. So if you don't want to purchase the full version of this game and then pay for Xbox internet access, online capability as well, so that costs some money, you can pay $20, and you don't have to pay for Xbox Live on top of the video game, or Xbox Ultimate, or Xbox, whatever their tier is that you need to pay for to play online. So I think that's a pretty good perk. I don't know how much Call of Duty I will play, so this has been a nice way to dive in there and try it out, play some, and probably get more than my fill of Call of Duty. And if I want to continue playing or pick the game up later, I can do so. So I think that's a pretty good option out here in the video game world with Game Pass. So the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6, it's developed by Treyarch and Raven. Black Ops 6 is a spy action thriller set in the early 90s, a period of transition and upheaval in global politics, characterized by the end of the Cold War and the rise of the U.S. as a single superpower. With a mind-bending narrative and unbound by the rules of engagement, this is a signature Black Ops across a cinematic single-player campaign, a best-in-class multiplayer experience, and the epic return of round-based zombies, which I think a lot of Call of Duty fans are excited for. So I'm a pretty middle-of-the-road Call of Duty fan. I like them from time to time. I've liked them a whole lot back in the day, but I haven't played a whole lot of multiplayer games more recently, so I think it's been fun to dive in here. So I'm not really too concerned with the campaign in this game myself. I've just been trying to play some multiplayer. I've maybe played like 10 games so far, and I think this is a good version of Call of Duty. I don't think it's doing anything drastically new. I don't think it's bringing any new people in, but I think it's going to make the Call of Duty fans happy, and then maybe bring back some fans who haven't played in a while, like myself or other people that want to come back and get into some Call of Duty. It seems good. I mean, the gameplay seems fun. The graphics look good. The maps have been really, really cool. There's some cool 90s throwback stuff. There's like a cool mall outlet kind of place, and there's some just really cool. I'm trying to think of some other instances of the maps, but I've really been kind of impressed by the maps, and I think they're pretty interesting. And sometimes I've even been just walking around looking at the stuff on the actual stage or on the actual map and seeing what's going on, like looking at some of the shops and what they're selling and some of the notes. There's like a note on the register and things like that, little details across the map that are pretty interesting that are probably going to get me murked out there on the Call of Duty battlefield. But I think it's been really, really fun. Pretty big download. I'm trying to think what else, but I think the Game Pass thing is really nice. I don't think I'm hooked on it, so I think doing the Game Pass route was the right route to go. And then if I ever want, a couple months down the road, want to get back into some Call of Duty, you can just pay for a month of Game Pass again and get back into it and pick up where you left off. But I think this will be something fun to play every once in a while. Like I think I played 10 matches, since it's released. Maybe do something like that, 10 matches a week, something like that. I think that could be reasonable and fun, and I think it seems like a really great version of Call of Duty. So that's what I want to tell you about the Call of Duty, and maybe you'll see me out there trying to do some work out there on the battlefield. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is out now, and go play that if you want to play some Call of Duty. All right, another game that has been released is a game that I am interested in and will possibly pick up later in the future, or if it goes on sale a little bit, good sale opportunity, but that is Sonic Time Shadow Generations. And this released on October 25th, 2024 for Nintendo Switch, PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. Developed by Sonic Team, if you can imagine that, and published by Sega. Standard edition is $49.99 US, so a little bit cheaper than a full-price game. Shadow the Hedgehog is back with the classic and modern Sonic and Sonic Time Shadow Generations, an all-new collection featuring 2 unique experiences. So there are 2 unique experiences in here, aka 2 video games in here, which is very nice. Play as Shadow in a brand new story campaign featuring never-before-seen abilities that prove why he's known as the ultimate life form. Speed through iconic stages from Shadow's history, discover hidden secrets in an expansive hub world, and unlock new powers to take on Black Doom and save the world. Sonic Time Shadow Generations also includes a complete remaster of the highly acclaimed Sonic Generations, a time-traveling adventure featuring a greatest hits collection of 3D and 2D Sonic stages, now with upgraded visuals and new bonus content. So this just seems like a great Sonic package overall. 2 video games in the mix with some new updated stuff, and also some greatest hits things in here as well. So Sonic is something I need to play some more of over my course of the years and over the course of the podcast, because I think I could get some more squeeze out of the juice, or some juice out of the squeeze, something like that from the Sonic. I think I like these games more than I've played them, is possibly so, and I need to play some Sonic. So this can be a cool one to pick up at some point and play. And I was watching Kyle Bossman streaming this over the weekend a good bit, and maybe he'll be playing some more of this, but definitely go check out some Sonic Generations. It looks very interesting. I don't know. I can't really parse out too much what is new and different in there from not having played the old one. So this could be, just kind of a brand new experience. 2 new games that are hopefully, upgraded versions of the old one. So I think this could be a great point to jump in on these. And Sonic and Shadow Generations is out right now on multiple platforms. So go check that out. So those are 2. Starting this off with 2 releases: Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Sonic Time Shadow Generations. All right, so what else is going on around the video game world? Other things are happening with video games, and No Man's Sky is a video game. It originally released in August of 2016, so it's been out for a while. If you don't know what No Man's Sky is, though, it's an epic science fiction adventure set across an infinite universe in which every star is the light of a distant sun, orbited by planets filled with life, each yours to visit, explore never-before-seen worlds, discover unique life forms and trade, fight and survive on a galactic scale. So I think kind of the whole story with this game is in 2016, it was a little more sparse with things to do and things around the world. It wasn't as fully developed as a video game, but as it has more developed over time, I think there's a lot of people that really love this game. So I think it seems like a way better value, and actually maybe a great value at this point with all the content in the game and all the kind of, it talks about having an infinite universe. It is, it's like procedurally generating all these things infinitely. So there's a lot of cool stuff to explore, and it seems like they've put more randomization in there to actually make it seem like it is an interesting infinite universe. So the news here is they are announcing Expedition 16, The Cursed, where players will fight to keep a grip on reality while haunted by visions and choices from another dimension. So this is them getting their Halloween kind of spooky content into the game, which is nice during this time of the year. The Cursed takes place in a sort of Twilight realm, straddling the boundary between one reality and the next. The Cursed expedition began on October 23rd, so available right now, and will run for approximately 2 weeks. So travel beyond the boundaries and fortify your mind against spectral anomalies, or succumb to the call of the world of glass. So think of it like a Splatfest in Splatoon 3, which there is a Splatfest going on this weekend. And I don't know who won or I'll have to report next week who won the Splatfest, because I kind of forgot that was going on. So that is a note to myself for next week. But No Man's Sky, getting an update, has some new content in there called the Cursed, probably for another week or so, maybe a little bit after Halloween it'll run to. It says a couple weeks after October 23rd. So looks like we're not even halfway done there yet. So No Man's Sky got some new content, so please go check that out if you're a No Man's Sky fan or someone who wants to play that game. All right, so let's talk about some more games. Another great video game, or this one actually, No Man's Sky, I don't really have an affinity for, but this next game, it's a wonderful video game. This one holds up, and that is Vampire Survivors. I've talked about this game many, many times over the course of this podcast history, over these 100 episodes. Vampire Survivors have been a good part of many of them. It's a gothic horror casual game with roguelite elements, where your choices can allow you to quickly snowball against the hundreds of monsters that get thrown at you. This game has a little bit been replaced by the next game I'm going to talk about as I just love this game. I can play it at any time, and it's an epic video game. So this one can hopefully, can still be that to many people out there, maybe myself even in the future, because there's a ton of content in this game. There's a ton being added. So the news here is Vampire Survivors has a Ode to Castlevania DLC coming October 31st, 2024, so on Halloween. The biggest DLC to date. There's so much content, you're guaranteed at least another 10 hours of gameplay, is what old Ponkel is saying, or Mr. Ponkel, the developer of the game. There's 20 plus characters being added, 40 plus massive weapons in one massive stage and more. And you can play Vampire Survivors for free with Nintendo Switch Online from October 23rd through October 30th. So that's something I noticed. It's under the game trials section on Nintendo Switch Online. So I think that's kind of a newer development with Nintendo Switch Online. They have this game trials section, and Vampire Survivors is a very inexpensive game. So I would just recommend just to pick it up if you have any interest, because I think it's an extreme value. But if you want to try it out first, I think that's smart too. And you can do so on Nintendo Switch Online. So Vampire Survivors getting some new content, Ode to Castlevania DLC, which is where Vampire Survivors gets a lot of its inspiration from Castlevania. So getting an Ode to Castlevania DLC in the game is a perfect layup or a home run or a slam dunk or just a surefire shot thing that's going to be really cool and going to mesh well with the universe. And that comes out on October 31st, 2024. And so on Halloween, some Vampire Survivors content. So very cool, very interesting. And Halloween is only a handful of days away. All right, the next game that I've been alluding to is Balatro. And that is a game that I've been playing in the past week. And I've got a few friends of the show and friends of the podcast hooked on it. And so we kind of have like a little Balatro chat going on now, giving updates on what you've been doing and what decks you've been completing. And I want to say here on some Balatro, the first thing is I completed a run last night. I am a red deck veteran. I have checked that one off the list. I completed a run with the red deck, and it was really amazing. Had some great multipliers going and felt good. I was telling the guys, the Blot Bros, that about 2/3 of the way through, I was like, man, I think I really have a good shot at this. And I had another run going. Started using the blue deck after, and I thought I had another one. I thought I was really close to getting finished. I think I was on ante 7 of 8, and I actually ran out of steam. So the hubris from the win really humbled me on that second run, but or the hubris led to being humbled quickly with that run, because Balatro can go south in a quick minute, and that was very evident. But Balatro is an amazing video game. They were teasing something earlier in the week, and what that ended up being was Friends of Jimbo 2, the free update, and that's available right now on all platforms, PC, console, and mobile. And is it the full squad, or is there more to come? So they've added some. Man, I forgot to write that down, but they've added new card backs in the game. So from Cyberpunk, they did The Binding of Isaac. I'm going to look that up real quick while we're here on the podcast, because I can't believe I didn't write that note down. Jimbo 2 update, Balatro. But some pretty cool card backs. So now for every suit, I have a new card back on them. So I think that's cool. They have multiple options. Oh yeah, Stardew Valley was one. Cyberpunk 2077, Binding of Isaac, Slay the Spire, and Stardew Valley. So they're really adding some great games in here that are, that are mashing up or having like a crossover with. Like, they've picked some really excellent games, and I think that's pretty cool to see. So Balatro if you don't know what Balatro is, it's a hypnotically satisfying deck builder where you play illegal poker hands, discover game-changing jokers, and trigger adrenaline-pumping outrageous combos. So, the gang's gotten bigger. So the Friends of Jimbo 2 free update's available right now. If you boot up Balatro, it's probably going to install this for you automatically. So go check out your settings when you load the game up, and you can customize your card backs with some extra great video games, and hopefully some of those games that you really love, like I do, because there's some really good ones. So the other Balatro news I want to talk about was, I think it's been reported they've had 1.8 million in sales for their first month on mobile. So selling the game for $9.99 US, they have sold up to $1.8 million in sales just on mobile. So pretty amazing. I think this game's been a smashing, outstanding, outrageous success, and it's been financially successful and critically acclaimed. And congrats to the developer of Balatro and the Balatro universe, and everyone playing Balatro. And this is an amazing game. I've been playing a bunch of it this week, and I'm going to continue playing a bunch of it, and it is definitely in contention for Game of the Year. It's kind of I wouldn't call it the dark horse, but it's the game that I think I keep going back to. I think I should pick for Game of the Year. So that's a little bit of spoiler stuff. Some of these other games I think are really amazing, and I'm really loving them, but I just don't know if I'm going to look back and be like, that was the year Balatro came out. I'm still playing Balatro 5 years later, and Balatro is an amazing video game. So things to think about over here for the Game of the Year on the Dep Lewis Show, which will be soon coming to a podcast feed near you, maybe in about a couple months away, getting pretty close. All right, so Balatro, Friends of Jimbo 2 free update is available now. All right, more video game news. What else I got for you today? Black Myth Wukong is getting a physical release. It will have the actual game on disc and won't require an internet connection to download anything. So I think that is a good thing to advertise and a good thing to actually happen, and a very good selling point for some of these physical editions, because that has been the knockout for some of these physical games recently, where they don't actually have the full game on the disc. And with the way the world is going, we're shifting to a more digital world. I think it's nice that these companies will be more cognizant of putting the actual game on the disc for people who really value physical collection and owning the physical disc and being able to plug it into their console and play it. I think that's really cool, and I think it's bad that that's an outdated thing. I get that these people are working on the games to the last minute. These games are giant, but oftentimes companies are releasing games in an incomplete manner and selling it to us, and then hoping that we will go along for the upgrade path that is as they're finishing it up or completing their final vision. So I think it's nice to have games where you can just plug them in and play, and I think that's going to have a little bit of a renaissance. And I think it's pretty cool that we are seeing that with the Black Myth Wukong physical release. So if you don't know about Black Myth Wukong, it released August 19th, 2024 for PS5 and Windows. I believe it is still slated to come to Xbox at some point, but I don't think there's any confirmation there. It's an action RPG rooted in Chinese mythology. You shall set out as the destined one to venture into the challenges and marvels ahead to uncover the obscured truth beneath the veil of a glorious legend from the past. So no set release date for the physical, but you can play digital now if you'd like to. The physical price is showing as $64.99 US, and it's up for pre-order right now. So Black Myth Wukong, if you want to play some difficult combat and have like a boss rush kind of game where you're just fighting difficult boss after difficult boss with not too much of a reprieve between, that is the game for you. So definitely, I think that's going to be on a lot of people's Game of the Year list, and it's been a smashing success as well. Black Myth Wukong. So if you want a physical release, it is coming out TBD, but you can pre-order right now. All right, what else in the video game world is going on? This game is an upcoming release, so just kind of putting it out there on the radar. And there was a bit of news that has come out. So the Mario and Luigi Brothership video game that's coming to Nintendo Switch is releasing on November 7th, 2024 for Nintendo Switch, $59.99 US. It appears some of this like developer info game is leaked already. So if you want to avoid spoilers for this game, maybe don't be searching the internet. But Nintendo is mysterious oftentimes with the developer of their video games. So we don't usually get that information until the video game has been out. But since this one is leaked, I think we've learned the developer for this is Acquire. So Acquire is a studio that worked on the Octopath Traveler games with Square Enix. And I think, people are out there playing this game illegally or spoiling it. So just be careful out there on the internet for Mario and Luigi Brothership. I think it's a pretty cool looking game. It's in the Mario and Luigi RPG side of things. And it's kind of like a long awaited return for that series. So hopefully it'll be a good game. And it's something definitely on my, wish list. Maybe pick up in the future if it reviews pretty well or if it goes on sale, which I don't think it's going to go on sale too quickly being a first-party Nintendo game, but it's just a game that's on my radar for the future to pick up, especially if there's being a lot of nice things said about it. So I definitely have some interest in it, but it's not a day one pickup for me. But Mario and Luigi Brothership, the brothers return for a brand new adventure on the high seas. When the Unitree is destroyed and the world of Concordia is broken apart, Mario and Luigi must try to reconnect a fractured world one island at a time. So, just be wary. There's some spoilery stuff out there, but Mario and Luigi Brothership is going to release on November 7th, 2024, which will be here before we know it, just a couple weeks away. So, putting that one out there on your radar. All right, there has been a remake, or a remaster, an upgrade. They're calling it a remastered or an enhanced version is how they're listing it. But hopefully an upgraded version of a video game, and it's going to be called Yooka-Replaylee. So a pretty epic name there. A play on the original name Yooka-Laylee, which is the video game from 2017. Playtonic Games has announced Yooka-Replaylee will launch for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo consoles alongside its previously announced PC Steam release. So I think one of the interesting things here was when they mentioned Nintendo, that they did not write Nintendo Switch. They just wrote Nintendo. So a lot of people are like, oh, that's alluding to the upcoming release of the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called, the successor to the Switch. And they're saying, hey, Playtonic Games was tired of waiting and they're just going to call it Nintendo. So maybe we'll start seeing that with some of these new releases coming out for the Switch. Some of these third-party games coming to Switch, maybe we're going to start seeing, it's just coming out for Nintendo is how they're going to handle it until the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be called is officially announced. So I saw someone online saying, maybe that means the imminent announcement or the announcement of the Switch 2 is coming very, very soon. And I don't know. I don't think it'll happen, before the holiday season. But it has to be sometime very, very quickly after that would be my guess. But Yooka-Replaylee is the definitive remastered and enhanced version of the 3D indie platforming collectathon Yooka-Laylee from 2017. Explore huge, beautiful worlds, meet and beat an unforgettable cast and characters, and hoard a vault load of shiny collectibles as buddy duo Yooka, the green one, and Laylee, the bat with the big nose, embark on an epic adventure to thwart corporate creep, capital B. So this is a game I've maybe played for like 30 minutes and something that I should play more of in the future, and this could be a great way to get back into the Yooka-Laylee or Yooka-Replaylee, or it's a great way to replay Yooka-Laylee and Yooka-Replaylee. They're touting it's more beautiful than ever, new and improved challenges and new collectible currency, a brand new world and map and challenges tracker. A new tweaked moveset allows you to combine more moves more fluidly, while the new camera controls make framing the action a breeze. So it seems like they're doing some pretty good upgrades here, and that game will be, I don't think it has a release date, but they have announced it's going to launch for multiple platforms. That is exciting, and it seems like it's going to be on the Switch 2 as a game, so pretty cool. Maybe it'll be in the release window. All right, so what else is going on around the video game world? A couple more things to tell you about here. News-wise and information-wise, Monster Hunter Wilds is an upcoming release of a video game. It's going to release on February 28th, 2025 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. It's a full-price release, $69.99 US. Prepare to explore a wild and unrelenting new frontier featuring dynamic, ever-changing environments. Monster Hunter Wilds is a story of monsters and humans coexisting in the Forbidden Lands, a world with two faces, one in which the lands are harsh and unforgiving, where monsters fight for scant resources, and another in which the lands are vibrant and brimming with life. Play as professional monster hunter assigned to the Forbidden Lands Research Commission, tasked with protecting the balance of the ecosystem and hunting monsters. Use the resources you gain from hunts to craft ever more powerful weapons and armor in your quest to unravel the mysteries of the new lands. So the news here with Monster Hunter Wilds, besides just putting this on your release radar once again, is they're having an open beta test, an OBT as they call it. And it will be held to let people try the game prior to its full release. Players who participate in the OBT will receive a special bonus which can be claimed in the full version of the game. PS5, PlayStation Plus Early Access play is taking place from 10:28 to 10:30. So that is going on starting tomorrow if you're listening in real time through October 30th. And then the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam open beta test will begin October 31st through 11/03. So PlayStation Plus gets a little bit of an early access look here on the beta. The purpose of this test is to allow players to experience a limited portion of Monster Hunter Wilds and also to verify various technical aspects such as network load and overall operation prior to the game's full release. Character creation is available in the open beta test with the full suite of features that will be available in the full version. During the OBT period, you'll also be able to remake your character as many times as you like, and then you can also carry over your character creation data into the full version. In the story trial, you can experience the opening cutscene and play through the Chupacabra hunt with basic tutorials, get a feel for the weapon mechanics, and experience the seamless transitions from cutscenes into gameplay. So this is a really beautiful graphical fidelity wise looking video game. So go check out some videos on this game. They've released some things. They've released some videos detailing the weapons, taking one weapon and having a video on it. So they've been getting in the weeds on some details and some pretty cool stuff and showing this game off. And this one is looking very, very cool. I've never really gotten into a Monster Hunter Worlds game, or a Monster Hunter game, and I've never really given one a full chance. I played a little bit of Monster Hunter Rise when it came out a couple hours and really did like it, but just kind of fell off of it. So I'd like to play some more Monster Hunter in the future. And this game looks like it's going to be a really great, just showcase for the consoles, for the current gen, and just be hopefully a great third-party release that's going to sell very well and be loved by a whole lot of people. So Monster Hunter Wilds, it releases on February 28th, 2025, and the open beta test is coming very, very soon. All right, some more kind of beta testing stuff going on that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. The Nintendo Switch Online Playtest program is going on, and we've been getting some more information about it, not too much though. It seems like this test is being related to a new feature for the Nintendo Switch Online service offered for Switch. They are no longer accepting applications for this, but it's taking place from October 23rd through November 5th, so a little bit more time on this playtest program. Some info has leaked, but still not all the way clear on what they're doing. It seems like it's some type of third-person MMO in which players can move blocks about on the planet's surface. Apparently there's player progression, a hub, and a shop too, so it seems like some type of social thing, some way they're going to upgrade their online service and, maybe be maybe they're going to install it on the current Switch and then it's going to be more fleshed out on the new Switch, but it seems like they're preparing things for the release of the new console in some form is what I'm guessing. But the Nintendo Switch Online playtest program is going on right now until November 5th. So once we get some more details on that, some more information, I will definitely bring that to you here on the show about what's going on with that. All right, so staying in the Nintendo side of things, Masahiro Sakurai has ended his popular YouTube channel by teasing an announcement of a new mystery game. So some pretty exciting information there. He's the creator of Super Smash Bros., the creator of Kirby as well. So, developer of some pretty classic, amazing, outstanding, wonderful, beloved video games. And Sakurai revealed that he received a video game development proposal in July 2021, and the production began in April of 2022. And he said he's sorry he can't say more about this project, but assuming we're able to get it made, it should be announced sooner or later. And could this be a Switch 2 launch game is something I saw a comment say, and something I thought was interesting I need to go check out Sakurai's YouTube channel, because it seems like he has pre-recorded content for the last couple of years while he's been working on this game. So all the content he's been releasing has been pre-recorded, and he came out on this, this reveal video and said, hey, the reason I look older is because you haven't really seen the current aging of me in the last couple of years on YouTube. It's been pre-recorded stuff that he's been releasing. So it sounds like a master plan taking place over there, and very something interesting and something I need to be more informed on, because Sakurai is a legendary video game developer, and whatever he's doing is definitely going to be creative and cool. So I need to get some more information on this myself. So go check out Sakurai's YouTube channel, and then definitely be on the lookout for his upcoming video game that we don't have really too many details besides that he is working on something, and that is exciting enough. So some Masahiro Sakurai news. All right, what else is going on around the video game world? Ubisoft. This one, this is not so great. Well, this news was kind of presented poorly, I feel like. I think they could have done a better job of this, but I think that there is a little bit of sad news here. Ubisoft has disbanded the team behind Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, the game that was critically acclaimed, but it reportedly failed to meet sales expectations. This game released earlier in the year, January 18, 2024, dashed into a stylish and thrilling action-adventure platformer set in a mythological Persian world or the boundaries of time and space are yours to manipulate. This game, a lot of people earlier in the year were saying this is going to be their game of the year, or they're talking about it that highly. So I think there's nothing wrong here with the development of this game. I think it might just be there's too many video games in the world. Maybe they didn't market it well enough. Maybe this is a genre that doesn't just sell like they were expecting. Maybe their expectations were wrong. Blah, 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 blah. But either way, I don't think we're going to get a sequel to this game. And that is sad for a lot of people. But it doesn't seem like the team was just disbanded and discarded. The core development team based at Ubisoft Montpellier has allegedly pushed for a sequel, or at least more expansions. So that's what they were hoping for. But Ubisoft needed help on other projects that had better sales potential. That's kind of the gist of what's going on here. So most of the people behind the 1 million selling Prince of Persia Lost Crown have moved on to internally onto other games in development. So such as Beyond Good and Evil 2, Ghost Recon, Rayman Remake, and Mario and Rabbids Maker. So some of the other games that they're working on over there, they have allocated their resources to a different avenue. So it doesn't seem like people are losing their jobs here, which is nice. It just doesn't seem like they're going to be able to make more content for something that they produced that they really liked and that was very, very well done, or possibly have the chance to do a sequel. So that's the kind of the sad thing here. But I think more people need to play this game that we have already. So, go play Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Kind of sounds like, from me talking about this myself, I need to pick this game up at some point. It's not a full price game. It's been on sale many times and something I need to pick up just kind of for solidarity for the video game world, sounds like it, because these people wanted to do more, and they're the higher ups of the decision makers were saying, hey, this one didn't sell enough. So I think the only thing that can be done is really to go buy a copy of this game if you want to support, because it's a great video game, and that would be nice. So Ubisoft disbanded the team behind Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. A little bit of sad news, but I don't think they have all lost their jobs, so that is the good news there. All right, the last bit of video game information I have to tell you is Xbox has updated their wireless headset, and I believe that's available right now. So a refreshed version of this has been announced. It has direct pairing to console, exceptional sound, and it's light and flexible is what they're touting. Enhanced audio experience, up to 20 hours of battery life, reimagined sound with Dolby Atmos, enhanced auto mute and sound isolation, seamless connectivity with Bluetooth 5.3 and optimized performance. It's coming in at $109.99, so $110 US, and you can purchase now, it looks like. So it looks like they kind of announced this, and it was just available for purchase. So I don't know if they are selling the outdated version anymore, besides stuff that might be on shelves. Maybe anytime you order this now from this new headset, it's going to be the updated version, but that would be something to check. Maybe the other one is discounted now. Maybe there's a big price difference, but Xbox has a new version of their wireless headset, and it's pretty funny that not funny, but coincidental that my headset this week broke. I don't really use my headset that I own I don't really use it too often, but maybe a month or so back, a decent part of it broke, and it was kind of hanging on by a thread. And I went to use the headset the other day, and then the thread it was hanging on by officially snapped. So I don't know if I have any reason to upgrade to a new headset. You can plug. I have a pair of wired headphones I can plug into the controller if I really want to get some sound that way. But generally, I'm just playing sound on the TV. I'm not playing. If I'm playing the multiplayer game, we're probably just talking over a phone call. So I think this would only be really a case if I really just wanted to have some loud video games in my ear and not possibly disturb my neighbors, or if I wanted to play something like I was talking about Call of Duty and talk to people over the microphone. But I don't currently have any friends playing Call of Duty, and wouldn't be on there talking just to random people. I'd just be playing the game, or maybe even listen to a podcast while playing it. So I don't know if I need to buy a headset, but I no longer own one. So something I need to remember, because there could be a time where I want to use it and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have a headset anymore. But Xbox has released a refreshed version of their wireless headset, available now. So that is all the video game news I have for you here this week in the midsection. I want to recap everything we talked about. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is available right now. Sonic Time Shadow Generations available right now. No Man's Sky has a new update that's available right now. Vampire Survivors has an update coming on Halloween. Balatro has a new update available right now. Black Myth Wukong is getting a physical release. Mario and Luigi Brothership releases on November 7th, and it looks like it appears to be leaked already, so be careful if you don't want to be spoiled on that game. Yooka-Laylee is getting a remaster called Yooka-Replaylee. No firm date on that, but it's coming. Monster Hunter Wilds has an open beta test coming soon, so go check that out. And that game officially releases on February 28th, 2025. The Nintendo Switch Online playtest program is still going on. Masahiro Sakurai is working on a new game. It's been officially kind of revealed. Not the details about the game, but that he is working on something. Ubisoft has disbanded the team behind Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. And Xbox has a refreshed version of their headset available right now. So that is all the news you need to know. Thank you for listening to that. Hopefully you found something in there interesting or informative, and I'll be back next week in this midsection with all the best video game news and information you need to know, as always. So I'm going to take one final break. That's all the video game talk for today. We're going to come back for the final section of the show, which is the Miscellaneous Talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside of the video game world. So come by, stay for the last section. It's just going to be some random talk about my favorite sports teams, tell you about what's going on with all my fandom, and it's going to be short and sweet. And hopefully you can just either, be happy for my what's going on with my teams, or you can mock me for my teams being poor and go on that journey with me. So come back after this music for the Miscellaneous Talk section, the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 100. Welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 100. This is the Miscellaneous Talk section, where I can talk about anything I want to outside the video game world. So for today, as always, I'm going to get into the worldwide world of sports and tell you what's going on with my favorite teams. So the first one, the Carolina Panthers. They had a game last week against the Commanders, and to no surprise, the Panthers lost 7-40. That was week 7. Not a close game. Even Jaden Daniels, he was out early with a rib injury and did not come back, so we didn't even have to play the outstanding superstar rookie. Andy Dalton was 11 of 16 for 93 yards, 2 picks, 2 sacks for 4 yards, so just a brutal game there. Bryce got in the game for a couple throws. Chuba had 17 carries for 52 yards and a touchdown, so Chuba's still doing some nice stuff, but the run game was really not going at all. Jatavian Sanders was another little bit of a highlight. He led receiving with 6 catches for 61 yards, so just kind of nice to see some production there, but nothing too incredible overall as a team. Deontay was next with 1 catch for 17 yards. Man, I hope that wasn't true, because that is pretty sad. The defense is so bad, I wrote, and just really, really bad news for the Panthers. Nothing too exciting or nothing too much to hang your hat on, besides just a little bit of future hope, I guess. After the game, I guess a couple days after the game, Andy Dalton was in a non-serious, thank goodness, car crash with his family and dog. And so he has bruised his thumb, and they have announced over the course of the week that Bryce Young is going to start for the upcoming week. So I think we might have had the Bryce Young conversation regardless of the Andy Dalton car accident. And then with Andy Dalton being in that car crash, a good time, I guess, to have the trial go back to Bryce Young and see what he's got, and see what we got with Bryce Young out there. So the Panthers are playing today. If you're listening to the podcast in real time, they're playing the afternoon slot. So they're playing at Denver at 4:25 p.m. So about 4 hours away from this time right now in real time. So hopefully the Panthers. I don't have too much hope. I think Denver's been playing pretty feisty. They're playing out in Denver. I think that's going to be tough for the Panthers, and I really don't expect to see a win, but I guess I'll be excited a little bit to see Bryce Young out there again, see what we have. I thought it was pretty shocking. They went to Dalton. He had that one good game, and then he had a couple moments after that, but kind of just came back down to earth. I still think my thoughts are Andy Dalton is a great backup at this point of his career, but I don't think he needs to be a full-time starter. And I think with Bryce, I don't know if we can play him at all, but I think maybe we need to try him out a little bit more and see what's going on. And the Panthers maybe just need to, I don't know, I think it's just too simple as this, but they need to run the ball and then take some shots more often. Run the ball a whole lot and then take a shot every so often and see what you can do. I think they're maybe getting a little too cute, thinking about too much, and that's just my armchair quarterbacking for this Panthers team. That's just kind of the same after same with what they're putting out there on the field, and it's just disappointing to watch. And at this point, it's almost, you just kind of expect it, and they really keep showing it game over game that they're just coming out so flat all the time, man, and the defense is getting shredded. And it just really doesn't look like anything that the Panthers fans have liked about their team over the course of years. The Panthers kind of always have a great defense, and that's something that I think Panthers fans love. Have a running game. We haven't really had that in a while, or a consistent running game in a while. And those are things I think we need to bring back. And then you have to be able to take shots down the field. And I don't know. I think it's a mess on the Panthers, but they're playing today against the Broncos. Next week they're going to be home versus the Saints. So I could possibly be going to check out the Panthers at home. That game's November 3rd, 2024 at 1 p.m. So Panthers playing today against the Broncos, next week against New Orleans, and I'll be back here next week, as always, to tell you what's going on with the Panthers. So the NBA season has started, so we're going to give you some updates about my favorite NBA team, the Atlanta Hawks. And I left off the Hornets. I've been kind of following the Hornets. I live in North Carolina. I'm a little bit of a secondary fan of them, and I think, my thought last week was, hey, I'm just going to focus on the Hawks and tell you about what's going on with them, but I think I need to double back and throw the Hornets back in here again. So next week, I need to get more Hornets details. There's no reason I can't be a Hornets fan as well. And there's like a couple games a year or in the playoffs possibly, that I would choose the Hawks over the Hornets. But I need to get on the right side of things and become a fan, because I got enough room in my heart on my sports fandom to add more teams, and Hornets are a team I can go watch kind of often, so I need to keep up with them a little bit more, and that is going to be my plan. So, apologies to the Hornets out there, but I was really just excited to focus on the Hawks this week, and that's what I'm going to get into right now. So the Atlanta Hawks, before I get into what's been going on with the games, they have announced the Jalen Johnson extension. So 5 years, $150 million for the versatile wing player, and hopefully going to be the number 2 guy, cornerstone on the team with Trae Young for a long time, and I think a great move. I'm really a Jalen Johnson fan. I'm really a fan of the Hawks roster right now. I'm really liking what they're putting out there on the court. A lot of great players to root for. I don't know how ultimately the mix of players is going to work or how much success they will have, but I think they have a great fighting chance. They got the rookie out there, Reese Shea. They got Jalen Johnson. DeAndre Hunter still had a good game. We got Bogey. We got Trae Young leading things, and got some good bigs. We have Wukong playing really, really well. We got Clint Capella being the veteran, so pretty good stuff. Trey Daniels out there being a great new addition, and some really, really good stuff going on with the Hawks, so it's been exciting. They played last Wednesday versus Brooklyn. That was the opening game. The Hawks won 120-116. Trey had 30 points and 12 assists. Okongwu had 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks, so pretty insane. Thursday, there was no game. Friday, the Hawks played the Hornets in Atlanta, so the Hawks won 125-120. Trey had 38 points, 11 of 24 shooting, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 steals, and 7 turnovers. So I didn't mean to throw your turnovers in there, Trey, but I think that's something I think it's a cool stat to check on just to see what's going on with your game. You had an incredible game. 7 turnovers is probably just, you have to crack some eggs to make an omelet or whatever that saying is, but, a wonderful, outstanding line there by Trae Young. Hunter was next, leading scorer with 24, so pretty nice to see one of the wings going off. The Hawks did not play yesterday, and they play today against OKC at 7 p.m. So I'll definitely keep you updated with what happened with that game next week. OKC is seeming like one of the best teams in the league. Hawks are going out there to play. Trae Young has his Oklahoma ties, which is nice, so maybe he'll be wanting to show out and get a win against the Thunder tonight. So pretty cool. So I have League Pass, so I'm able to watch all the Hawks games for the most part. I'm living in North Carolina, so that's been a good perk. I don't have to mess with any. Actually, I don't think VPN stuff works with League Pass, so it's really pretty restrictive. So the other night, Friday night, when the Hawks were playing the Hornets, I was not able to watch because the game was being broadcast locally. And if I wanted to get that local broadcast, I'd have to subscribe to Fubo TV. There's a few options out there, DirecTV Stream. There's a few options that actually carry. It's like the Bally Sports problem with the Braves. So a little bit of a pain, but I've kind of just resigned myself to, if I'm going to watch, I'll watch 90% of these games. If I miss some, I'm not going to, just kind of throw my money away to pay a month sub that's really, really expensive, like $100, to watch 2 games or whatever it is. I can just miss my team for those games. I can listen to the radio. I can just watch the box score. I watch a ton of sports myself, so if I miss one, it's not the end of the world, and it's really going to, make a difference money-wise, because that stuff is expensive and a pain in the you-know-what. But living in North Carolina, having League Pass is really, really nice. I can keep up with all the Hawks games for the most part, and that is one of my favorite things to do. So I guess that's part of my trouble, too, with following the Hornets. Can't necessarily watch the local games unless I want to subscribe to an expensive service. But I'm going to keep them back in here so I can keep updated with what's going on with their record and their roster. LaMelo's been playing really great in some losses. Seen a great Brandon Miller dunk. So it's pretty cool stuff going on with the Hornets, and I'll definitely be going to a couple of those games over the course of the year. So Hornets played Miami last night. I don't think they won, but first game of the year. Looked like it was pretty good crowd for as far as Hornets games go. For the team, not a little bit in the vague area of are they going to be good, are they going to be not, and fans really will show up if you start winning. So I'll keep you updated on all the basketball stuff, and I still have not hit a basketball bet yet, so that's not been nice. Been trying to hit some parlays on some games, and nothing's been hitting yet. So going to see if I'm going to be able to be successful as a basketball gambler. But please gamble responsibly out there in the world. All right, my last update for sports today. My favorite baseball team, Atlanta Braves, are in the offseason. The only news there to report is they've hired a new hitting coach. So they replaced Seitzer. Now they've hired Tim Hires. So they've hired Mr. Hires. He's been a hitting coach or an assistant coach for the past 9 years. He's had 3 World Series berths in those 9 years, a pretty good track record there. He's an Atlanta native, so that's nice. He played in the majors for the Padres, the Tigers, and the Marlins. Looks like a little bit of a short career, but he had some time in the majors from 94 to 1999. And then as a coach, he's been with the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Rangers, and now the Braves. So he's been coaching from 2016 to 2025. So hopefully he'll bring some additional pop and some additional juice. maybe, I guess a new voice in the room, maybe get a new perspective. Our old hitting coach and his assistant have been there for a long time. Our hitting was kind of down this year. We had the year of the bombs the year before, and we've had the crazy year last year, but they are retaining most of the coaching staff, making some minor tweaks, so hopefully that will pay off next season. So for the Braves, spring training begins February 22nd, not that I'm counting, and the first game of the regular season is at the Padres March 27th. So I really love to. One of my favorite days of the year is opening day for Braves baseball, and it's something that I'll just keep bringing up. If there's no other news about the Braves, I'm just going to keep reminding you out there in the world and reminding myself that the Braves will be back March 27th. So that's 5 months away, actually, to the day. All right, some pretty great stuff. So Atlanta Braves, I miss you. Hopefully you'll make some good offseason moves. Maybe pay Max Fried. That would be a shocking surprise, and I would be happy. But as far as baseball, the World Series is going on right now, so that's been really, really great. The Yankees are playing the Dodgers in the battle of the giant payrolls and great teams with expectations. Game 1 was Friday, and Mr. Freddie Freeman, the former Atlanta Brave Hall of Famer, had a walk-off grand slam. Game 1, Dodgers win 6-3. So Freddie walked him off with a grand slam. Freddie was strutting this stuff. Freddie was celebrating. It was insane. That's like a dream come true for a baseball player. And for Dodgers fans, watching that had to be extremely amazing. And I was very excited to see it just as a fan of Freddie. I don't necessarily like the Dodgers. I do have some Dodgers gambling stuff going on, so I would like the Dodgers to win for that regard. But pretty much just being happy for a baseball moment. And it was an amazing baseball moment. That's going to be played on every Freddie Freeman highlight reel for the end of time. It's going to be played on many World Series highlights reels for the end of time, and was just clutch, amazing, perfect opportunity. It was a no-doubter. He blamed the hell out of that ball and walked it off. And just got to feel bad for the pitcher there, but he really made a crucial error to Mr. Freddie Freeman. And Freddie Freeman had a homer in Game 2 as well, so the Dodgers are up 2-0. I didn't mention that. Dodgers won Game 2 4-2, another Freddie Freeman bomb. Saw a Teoscar Hernandez bomb. Dodgers are up 2-0, and Game 3 is Monday in New York. So the Yankees are on their heels, but going back to New York, so hopefully get some juice from Yankees fans in Yankee Stadium. And Game 4 is the same. I guess Game 4 is Tuesday, I believe. So get some more baseball going on. I don't anticipate the Dodgers sweeping, but I do anticipate Dodgers winning. But it's been fun to watch. I'm going to miss baseball when it's gone. And the World Series has been pretty great so far. It's been nice to see Freddie Freeman really, really showing out. So there's a little bit of a Braves connection there for myself. So love some baseball. Best sport in the galaxy, best sport in the universe, and all the sports. Really, really love you. And shout out to all my favorite teams out there. And the Hornets, I'll get some more Hornets information next week and keep you updated weekly with those Charlotte Hornets. All right, so that's everything that's going on in the sports world I want to keep you updated on, and that's everything in the Miscellaneous Talk section, and that's everything in the entire episode. So just thank you for listening to this. I want to reiterate some promotional talk from the beginning. Follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show available anywhere you can find a podcast. So find the best place to subscribe and listen weekly. Places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Amazon Music, and more. If you'd like to support the show even further than just listening, patreon.com/DepLewisShow is available if you'd like to subscribe monthly. And then Venmo at Dep Lewis Show is available any day, anytime, for any amount if you would like to support the show. And then also follow twitch.tv/Dep Lewis Show for some random streams. You can watch some gameplay and see what I'm playing. And just thank you for listening. That's all I want to say. Thank you for listening. This is episode 100. My last little thought on episode 100 is just thank you for listening. It's been extremely fun to do. I've had a blast doing 100 episodes. I plan on doing hundreds of more and just never stopping until this, never stopping. So this podcast is going to be bringing you video game news week to week. You're going to hear my thoughts. You're hearing this voice. And I just have a great time doing it. And just after 100 episodes, it just makes me want to keep doing it more. So just thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful week out there in the world. I hope some things just go your way. That's all I really want to say. Hope some things improve in your life. Hope something exciting happens. And just thank you for being a Dep Lewis Show listener. And I'll be back next week for another episode. So please come back for another episode of Dep Lewis Show. This has been episode 100. And next week I'll be back for another episode 101. So thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.